Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are following us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Give us a 5-star rating. It massively helps us out. Enjoy.
From the peak of football to the bottom of football, England.
Lost
1-0 to Italy. I didn't watch it, but...
That was a sea change, wasn't it? We've gone from like sort of waxing lyrical about the brilliance of football and how unifying it can be to one of the most divisive characters in the game at the moment in Gareth Southgate. I'm so done, Theo. I'm so done.
Are you not doing a disrespect to him after a final, a semi-final?
The performance was a disgrace.
Really?
And that's 5 consecutive games, no win.
Mate, we're
no
relegated.
goals. It's awful. Yeah,
We're relegated.
We're relegated. And,
We're relegated.
And you touched
In
on...
what? The Nations League?
Yeah.
We're in B now.
Fuck, man.
You touched on...
Shit. Relegated in friendlies,
mate,
man.
do you know what it's managed to do? It's done 2 things to me,
It's like
which
FIFA,
I
mate.
hate. I hate about myself now, and it's not my fault. It's Gareth Southgate's fault. He's managed to do 2 things to me. I don't want to beat this guy, but you know, people who are backing him, they're actually beginning to annoy me. I mean, like friends, like you know, like Thogden. I like Thogden. Of course, I like Thogden. But you know, when I watch his stuff or when he texts me or whatever, and he's like backing Southgate, and I'm just like, shut up, you pillock. Like, I can't talk to you. You know, he's like annoying me. I'm just like, this little geezer out of West Hampstead, he's driving me mad with this like blind love of Southgate. I'm like, Thogden, you fucking moron. What are you saying here? What are you doing, you utter dingbat?
I've always been pro Southgate, but it's so hard to defend
See,
him.
we're going to argue now. See, this is the thing, because I'm now so irrational.
Because
I
I'm
can't hear
not
it.
pro Southgate, and I
Thank God.
think he's absolutely
It's the last thing.
ruining his legacy by what he's
Legacy,
doing.
my
Yes,
last
right.
legacy.
Okay, look.
Legacy.
Okay, right. We've had World Cup semi-finals, runners up in the Euros.
It's better than any other England
Look at the
manager.
draw, though,
It's a
isn't it?
legacy.
Yeah, I was going to say, right, so we can touch on
But
that.
statistically, he's done better than any England manager since 66.
Right, go back to 2018, that
not
summer
hard,
of
is it?
2018. How good did the country feel for that World Cup?
Yeah.
And then last year for the Euros.
People started buying waistcoats.
He bought... Was you one of them?
Singing that
You
atomic...
were buying waistcoats.
No. I mean, there was a time when I was very in favour of Gareth Southgate. I mean, at the last tournament, I was in favour.
We can't
But it's
defend him anymore.
gone so stale. It's gone so wrong. And it took me to the lowest point I've ever been to as an England fan. Do you know what he did to me? Uncharted territory. And I've got to phrase this really carefully because it makes me sound sort of weird as a football fan, and some people won't even understand where I'm coming from. It has such negative connotations what I'm about to say here. So please let me finish it before you judge me. I'm sorry, but please just hear me out.
a bit nervous to hear this.
Right? To caveat it, I'm like a devoted England fan. I've seen England play in 4 continents. Right? I did the month in Brazil. I've done the tournament in France. I've seen England play in Macedonia, Poland. I've been everywhere, followed England all over. Do you know what he managed to do to me the other night? I wanted England to lose. I couldn't believe it, but I could feel that if England lost, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, as the great Paula Abdul said, and what I hoped would happen is England would lose, the FA would realise that they had such a Burke in charge, somebody who was so limited, like it's so limited, he's getting so much wrong, that they would react. Because if we beat Italy, say we lucked to 1-0, people are going to use this as some sort of a reason to persevere. So I was like, we have to lose in order to achieve what we are trying to achieve.
But how can you replace a manager so close to a World Cup?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the other argument. And the only gaffer I would have got in probably was Graham Potter. And now I'm not sure. I think we're too close to the beginning of the tournament.
No, we're not.
Do you not think so?
No, absolutely not. Because
that's our last game. Monday's our last game.
Yeah, but what you have at the moment is you have an England team who are going into a tournament with absolutely zero chance of winning it. Zero chance because of the manager. Zero. Mate, we're not going to score a goal. I can't remember the last time we scored a goal. I would say, like talk of winning the World Cup is absolutely idiotic. Like, we look really foolish. You know, if we were to explore that now, people rightly would turn off because it would make us sound insane. We belong
Ivan Toney.
We belong in Broadmoor if we are talking about England potentially winning the World Cup.
No, you're right.
So
I think we have a chance.
We could talk about
not at all. If we're playing like we are, we look lost. Gareth Southgate looks lost. We've got such a talent of players there, and he's just like, I don't know what he's doing. Why is he playing Saka at left wing back and everything like that?
Here's what I do. I don't watch England games. Don't watch Nations League. So therefore, we got Foden, we got Tony, Kane. Bellingham.
Tony
Kieran Trippier. Play Kieran Trippier.
Won't play any of them.
Yeah.
Trust me. Semi-finals.
No.
Mate, I think the conversation isn't about do England win the World Cup. The conversation is, will England score a goal? I take a goal. Will we get a goal in the World
Sterling
Cup?
will score 4.
No.
He won't score any for this England team. He won't score any with Gareth Southgate in charge.
Well, I'll give you some stats, boys. England have gone 5 consecutive games without winning for the first time since 92. England have gone 3 consecutive internationals without a goal for the first time since 2000. England are only one of 2 nations yet to score a single non-penalty goal in the Nations League this year.
The other nation, San Marino.
Yeah. Big ass San Marino. They were so close to getting their first win in like 20 years. They drew 0-0.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know the stat there? Obviously, at the time of recording, England haven't faced Germany.
I think
if England lose to Germany or don't beat Germany, that stat, the first one that you read out, then takes this England lack of winning streak to the worst since 1958.
Fuck, mate.
Yeah, mate, this is like a catastrophe. Yeah. And the thing that nobody's mentioned here, it's like a massive elephant in the room. This is an England team with more talent than we've ever had. This is a golden generation. You know, people will always talk about the 2002 generation, the 2002 golden generation.
2004 Euros, Greece.
2004 Euros, but the one that I think people always hold up as being like the team is 02 Korea Japan. That was a great team, right? Yeah, the Brazil, like, that was a great team. But in terms of the first 11, maybe it was good enough, maybe. But it also had some terrible play. You know, like you had Danny Mills at right back, you had Trevor Sinclair in the team, you had Emil Heskey hanging about. Like you had players that weren't.
I think 04-06 teams was way better. Rooney, Owen, Lampard, Gerrard, Gary Neville, Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, Paul Robinson. It
was a very there was an era of some very good teams, but what you didn't have, maybe you could argue that the first 11s of different eras were stronger, but what you can't argue is that this squad depth, like look at who doesn't play for this England team. Look
James
at who
Maddison doesn't get into this.
Doesn't get a look in,
but he should.
If you look at the players that don't even get a look in, I'm not talking about the players that don't get on the pitch. I'm talking about the players that don't get a look in. They're over previous years, they would have had a team built.
Maddison has to be in for me.
Yeah, but so this is my worry as well now. Well, this is the last couple of games before the World Cup. I think he's got his mind made up of the squad that he wants to take, and I think this is going to be the squad.
It's got the 11.
I know, but then you look at the way we played the other night. It goes, that's going to get nowhere, and I just don't understand. I just think it's pure stubbornness and a lack of, not even a lack of creativity, because the players are there. It's a lack of Southgate's what he wants to do.
Yeah, he's a coward.
It's awful.
Gareth Southgate is a coward.
No, man.
I go back to say that Euro, we lost that Euro the moment Declan Rice came off the pitch.
He was so good, man.
We lost that Euros.
Declan Rice.
We lost that Euros the second that Gareth Southgate was appointed in the job. That's like that's true. Hindsight has taught me that. Don't get me wrong. There were times when I thought Gareth Southgate. I'd like just to qualify this. I don't dislike Gareth Southgate as a man. I think he's done some very good things for the country. I think he's led the team in quite an admirable way in some very difficult circumstances. But he isn't good enough for the job. And if he is this true patriot that he genuinely believes, if he honestly thinks that England are going to win a World Cup, if he honestly thinks that England should win a World Cup and he wants to see that happen, he should do the honourable thing and resign.
You say that about the Euros though, but everyone questioned him. We questioned the waistcoat. He played Sterling. They said, no, don't play Sterling. He turned out to be our best player. He got us to the final. We went 1-0 up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Also, if you're not turning up for your country on the biggest stage, if you're not going into that game with the right mentality, then fuck off. Because that should be everything.
Who are the 3 key players we need to utilise in the World Cup?
The 3 key players that should be utilised.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that what England need to do is get Phil Foden on the ball as much as possible, play him as a number 10. So just a totally different shape to what, this 5 at the back is nonsense for me. So you go 4-3-3. We haven't got that many good defenders, so stop playing 5 of them. We've got an abundance of attacking talent, so make the most of that. But I think if you get Phil Foden as a number 10, pulling the strings, I think that could be sensational.
I think Declan Rice is a necessity.
Rice, it should be Rice, Bellingham, Foden.
Oh, this is filth.
I think that's what it should be.
That is actually filth.
It's ridiculous.
That is what it should be.
Like, there's no excuse not to win, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but then again, I don't understand why Southgate doesn't do, it's just
because he's a coward. Because
you go back to that point.
He will not give up on the 5 at the back. He will not give up on the 2 holding midfielders.
It has not worked.
Give me Stones, give me Tamori.
Yeah, it goes. Look, it's so easy.
Whoa.
It feels
Chilwell at the left.
Chilwell left, and then
right back.
And then
No, I'd go Walks right back.
I'd go James or Alexander-Arnold.
Would ya?
Yes.
No. Trent's not
Depends
even.
on the-
Trent's not even in that conversation.
No,
No.
Trent, I definitely have Trent Alexander-Arnold. Depending on the opposition.
I'll go 4-3-3.
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
Totally.
Saka on the
Three
right.
then. Yeah, Saka.
Kane up top. Who's on the left?
Sterling.
Sterling. You have to play Sterling,
Sterling,
right?
yeah.
Sterling.
Go
And
FIFA
then-
tactics.
It is
Put
FIFA
fast
tactics.
players
Why don't we
on.
go FIFA tactics?
Literally, it works.
Put me in manager.
On FIFA.
Yeah, no, look, I don't understand why it does feel because of the squad talent. It does feel like a very easy job, the England manager, because I think the team, with the exception of maybe right back, with the exception of maybe right back, maybe one midfielder, basically picks itself. You could have a debate around the keepers as well. I suppose.
Pickford has to start.
You say one midfielder. Who's that midfielder?
I think there's one position up for grabs.
Yeah.
So I think Declan Rice will definitely start.
Yeah.
I think Mason Mount will definitely start.
Really?
Yeah. By the way, that's not me saying that I think he should. I just think he will.
Okay.
If I were picking my team today, Mason Mount's form this season hasn't been good enough.
No, yeah.
So,
What is your
I'd go
11?
Bellingham. So my team would be, I would go Ben Chilwell on the left, depending on opposition, Reece James or Alexander-Arnold on the right. And then it would obviously be Tomori with Stones. Easy. I would go Pickford in goal. I understand there's arguments for Ramsdale, whatever else, but I'd go Pickford.
But just for tournament experience as well. I think Ramsdale will be England number one after the World Cup.
This is Pickford's last tournament.
I rate Pickford highly.
Yeah, so do
people
I.
don't seem
So do
to.
I.
Yeah, I get a lot of grief.
He genuinely almost won us back to the final after saving
Yes.
Jorginho's pen.
And he also he kept Everton in the league. You know, if Everton stayed up, they were an abysmal Everton team who stayed up. They stayed up because of two players. It was Richarlison up front and the keeper. He's a good keeper. Then the two midfielders, I would go Bellingham and Rice. Bellingham at the moment because Mason Mount is so out of form. So I think you're back to being a meritocracy, right? Pick the players in form. Then Phil Foden in front, Harry Kane in front of him, Raheem Sterling on one side, and then there's the debate, I suppose. Then is it Saka? Is it Grealish? Is it Then it's the
No,
debate.
you're right.
But I feel like it's easy.
Mine's basically the same as yours. But minus, I wouldn't put Trent in that.
No,
Kieran Trippier, 100%.
it's James or. I think you could have a
Reece
chat
James.
about Trippier at the other.
He also has
Fullback.
set
Yeah, you
pieces.
could-
You could.
You could have a chat about that if you really want to.
He's
I'll just go
versatile.
Chilwell, but if you want to, for some reason you have this undying love for Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, man. It just.
Are you friends?
No,
Do you
I just
know
love him. I don't. I wish I did. Like remember when he scored against Croatia? Oh, God!
the best
He
too.
scored he's taken 5 free kicks. 3 of them have gone in. One have hit the post.
Why wouldn't he go in?
Lewis, do you love him? You love him, don't you?
I'm loving. It's
He won-
ridiculous
he
when
won-
he signed him.
he
It's
won the league.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you start Trippier? Because I feel like if you look at these names like James and Walker's,
feel like Reece
they're
James-
amazing, but Trippier just gets shoved under the.
I do like Reece James.
Reece James.
He
Reece
can
James
bomb
is
up and down
an
the wing as well, can't he?
unbelievable
Just
player.
can't.
I think Reece James is so good. Reece James has to be for me starting.
Trippier's
there.
just so unlucky that he's up against Alexander-Arnold.
There's
Cole
so much
Walker, and,
competition, yeah.
he's just very unlucky. That
I
he's
think it's because Trippier's been over in Spain and now he's playing for Newcastle,
won the
and
league,
people aren't
hasn't
strictly watching him as much and watching him
won
interact
the
with
league,
players. Where you'll watch the big teams more and you're more aware.
Do you
of
know what's happening here? By the way, your accent is giving away this bias.
them.